Hello, can everyone hear me? Let's put my lamp on. Ugh, sorry about that. I'm hoping this isn't trying to kill me, but hey, we're vibing. Such a chill song. How are we doing? I'm assuming people can hear me okay. I'm getting hellos. Hello, hello, hello. I have coffee, so if you hear me slurping away, then I'm having a good time. Model just having a freak out. I have got model lock on, believe it or not. But no, hello. How are we doing? Are we good? Are we fine? How are we hydrating and staying safe, everybody? Am I loud enough? I'm hoping I'm loud enough. I'm coming up, I'm practically blowing out my mic, so... This is a little wiggle of the ears. I can't get over that with my model. Turn off movement in the comfort set. Yeah, if you could, I had it all set up really nice, and then a new PC, and naturally everything has gone to shit very quickly. Thank you. 4-hour train journey. Yeah, you went to KupoCon, didn't you? How was that? Was that good? I need to resize my chat box, clearly. It's having a good time. Let me just live edit. So there's always going to be scuff. It is not a Zypher stream unless there is scuff. It was really good. I like hearing the cons are good because that gives me hope when we lose KupoCon. I did have auto blinking on as well, but I did not have enough time to try and find it, shit, and all that, because good lord, the scuff I've had to deal with trying to get this set up. I was hoping to start streaming at 6, so I am about half hour late. But that's okay, that's fine, we can deal with that. I'm just gonna get my game set up because okay, auto blinking or link blinking, whichever one it was that basically it would make sure that both eyes would blink at the same time. Because of my glasses, it likes to like fuck it up. I bought chaos and the chaos stared me back. Linked, yeah, is that what it's called? Like, just man, I'm tired. I've been trying my hardest. I'm really glad to be back streaming though. We're gonna be playing one of my favourite games. I am a cozy game enjoyer. Send a screenshot. Thank you. You're like saving my life right now. Bought the chaos and the chaos stared me back and out chaosed me. But no, I am a cozy game enjoyer, so we will be playing a bit of web fishing. I do believe that's probably just swapped chat over. I can afford to... yeah, I can afford to make that a bit bigger, actually. Let's just make sure chat's up here. Let's just, you know, don't move the game. We're doing... this would not be a Zypher stream if shit like this didn't happen, honestly. It's all because I'm just indecisive. But yeah, we're playing a nice cozy game, nice bit of web fishing. I have my cryptid, of course. You expect less? So a little bit of background with this is that back on my old computer, obviously I'll get into the new specs and stuff in a moment. I don't actually have the new specs with me. Oh dear. Think I remember them. Sent both. Thank you. That is more help than you know. Because otherwise I just look like I'm trying my hardest. Ooh, my Pokemon stamina's recovered. But no, a bit of background with web fishing is that I must be topped up. Just make sure. I was actually a decently high level because, as I say, I am a cozy game enjoyer. And yeah, new PC. I didn't realise that it was files that save to the individual device. Otherwise, I would have backed up my web fishing files as well. But I didn't do that, so we're suffering. We're suffering. But that's okay. We can cope with that. We're just gonna start again. That's what cozy games are about. Am I right? Am I right? I'm hoping this doesn't set off any of my toggles. Doesn't seem to have. So no, we're gonna be cozy gaming. We're gonna be vibing. We're gonna be having a good time while I yap my ass off. So first of all, first port of call is, are my levels okay? I'm hoping so, because I have literally just been setting this up just before I streamed. I've not adjusted anything. I've not had... I say I've not had time. I've had time, but I am a procrastinator at heart. So yeah, hoping my levels are okay. I still need to get a boom arm for my mic, but that's money. And with the amount I've just spent on this PC, that's money I don't have. Sounds alright. Good. Good. We like sounding alright. We like sounding good. Oh, hello. Fish! What do we think we've got, fam? I have got a few of the upgrades for like faster real time, stronger rod, that kind of thing. A large leech. Also, the puns in this game are just to die for. I love them. But no, so I have been partially trying hard not to pass away, to be honest. I have really not been well since about November. I don't know whether it was just a virus or I had more than one. I don't know if it was a sickness upon sickness or I had one after the other or what happened, but I basically got really bad ear infections, which I get anyway, and I went to the doctor about it because it wasn't clearing up like normal. It wasn't presenting like normal. These fish is gay. We like gay fishes. But these ear infections weren't presenting like normal. So I went to the doctor and he basically said that he thinks I've got this viral infection that's going around. So I spent like forever trying to get rid of that. My immune system is not my friend. It just likes to kill me, essentially. Oh, I got told. What a boy. So that was sort of November until current, because I'm still kind of sick. I've got the cough and I've still got like a permanently sore chest from it, which, you know, that's life now, I guess. That's just how it is. I just got to live and learn with it. In the meantime as well, I am also getting ready for KokoroCon, which is in April this year. They had to move it back a little bit due to scheduling conflicts with another thing at the hotel they host it at, basically. Made everybody really, really mad, because as everybody was trying to book up the hotel for their rooms and stuff, I got the last room available, so I upset everybody. And it was one of the really nice big rooms. Does this game have sound? Very little sound. I'll turn my desktop audio up because it has very, very little sound. Like, if I'm silent for a minute, you might hear it. Yeah, it's very, very little sound. Like, you can hear little splooshes. It's like a nice little cozy game, so there's not really music to it. It's just a little chill. When I'm not playing Final Fantasy, this is what I'm playing. It scratches the brain nicely. So yeah, what was I? Oh, we're kicking in with the vibe and music. There we go. I do like this music. It's such a vibe. Is that too loud compared to my voice or anything, or because obviously the music's only just kicked in? You can turn it back down on my OBS needs be. Oh, good. We like that. So where was I? Kakarikon. Yeah, I upset everybody with the hotel. I say that lovingly. People were just a bit gutted. Obviously, they either missed out or they couldn't get on-site stay, which, understandable. There's like a Premier Inn and stuff real close by, so people were okay with it. So I've been working on cosplays for that. I say working on them, I've been fighting for my life trying to figure out what I want to do. I've decided I'm taking Themis again. I really enjoyed being Themis. Is this an open lobby or playing solo? I am currently playing solo. I'm currently offline, but I am happy to open a lobby if you'd like. Ooh, new creature. Both indecent. I've not seen that one before. But yeah, I'm happy to open a lobby if you want to join in. I might be in a VC later, depending on how long the stream decides to go, because I'm not setting a time for it because we're just cozy. I'm just yapping. I'm just taking up everybody's time. I'm just everybody's background noise at the moment. Rainbow trout. These fish is gay. Me too. So Themis will be going to Kakarikon again. I've been heavily debating Albedo from Genshin Impact, because he's one that I've always wanted to cosplay. I'm not sort of the shape I wanted to be for when I cosplayed him, but you know, it's about the fun of it, isn't it, really, rather than things like that. I haven't been to the gym since November because, like I say, I've been poorly. I've just been suffering. That's selected cricket. Cool. Hello, welcome. I just almost tried to pick up my mic instead of my coffee. Slurp the chat. Slurp. But what do you think? Should I invest in? Oh, I've just realised that's covering up some of the puns. Can I? How are you doing? I'm good, thanks. Yeah, still going, still surviving. How are you feeling? How are we doing? Drink that mic. Slurp. I've got so much stuff going on. Let me just shrink this just a little bit so we can have the puns. We like a good pun in this chat, so I'm moving the game. No, the other one. Thank you. There you go. Try that. If it's not good, live with it. I was trying to cover up the big chat, but you know, that's fine. We can live with this bit here. Disappears on its own anyway. We do like a good coffee in this chat. You should do who you want, when you want. Yeah, that's very true. That's why I'm really considering doing Albedo, because as I say, he's a character I've wanted to do for a while. That wig's gonna kill me. The wig is going to end me. But he should be fun to do, and let's face it, he looked cute. Albedo's quite cute. I do need to carry on hitting the gym though. My brother's recently started a course, which means I haven't been able to go to the gym because it's not... I can go to the gym and like do my exercises and stuff, but walking to and from the gym, even though it's really not far away, isn't a good idea in this cold for me, because if my knee locks up, I'm knackered, basically. A fellow Kakarikon goer. Yeah, we're all in the Discord. Honourable is one of my friends who... Was it me and Deadweight that introduced you to Kakarikon? I can't remember. There's... So... There's, I think it's like Axel Bits or something. He's, we joke about him being Zix's husband, even though he's really not. And then, is it Alexel Star? Fellow VTuber, yeah, Pokemon Shiny Quiz. I think we've spoken a couple times. I'm really bad with faces and names, to be honest. Like, you'll start talking to me about things that we've said to each other, and I'll be like, I vaguely remember the conversation, but I have no idea who you are. Collecting them like Pokemon, honestly. I keep joking to my my brother that he's collecting data analysis qualifications like Pokemon at the moment. Ossian, Kakarikon is the one that I've said that if you want to come down for, if we can get you a ticket transfer, you can just stay in the room that I've got, because I've got one of those big rooms. And annoyed everybody. Because it was the last one. Ooh, lots of cookies. Which usually means big fish. Huge pie. I'll show you the one I've got in my aquarium because it's huge and it's so funny. It doesn't fit. Just not with the people you speak of. Honourable is the one that I met on Final Fantasy. She joined my FC, and then I ended up moving up to where she lives a couple years back. Was it a couple years? Because this will be our second year in this house. We don't live too far apart from each other now, to be honest, but it's just a bit more pain in the ass to get to each other. There's going to be a lot of hell of a boss at Kakarikon this year. I've considered trying to get Lucifer back up and going, because I was going to do him last year, but then there was the whole drama about the seller not actually sending my cosplay. That's HH. Yeah. We're getting our fandoms mixed up. I do it all the time. Ossian is like the biggest Blitz 7.0. I know a couple of them, and Ossian would eat them all, honestly. Like, Leos from what's the name? Dungeon Meshi. I considered doing Chill Chuck from Dungeon Meshi because I am also small and angry and very, very fucking exasperated at everybody. Partner will be Chill Chuck. That's gonna look so good. Please tell your partner that they have to basically judge and like question every decision you make at Kakarikon. Oh, Jesus, what was that? Oh my god, that's going to replace the thing I currently have. That's going in my aquarium. Look at the size of that bastard. And I just shove it up my ass. You can't tell me that t-shirt has pockets. I've shoved that up my ass. I know my chat's like going off the screen and stuff, but I really can't be asked to fix it. We're just chilling, we're vibing. So far, plans for Kokoro, Sunderland, Tails. He chuckled and said, "Oh well, good." We always like an exasperated chill chuck. Yeah, you need to send me more pictures of your Stola cosplay, by the way, because I didn't see any. I saw the couple you put in our server, but I haven't seen the rest. If you have more, that is. I don't know if you were too drunk most of it. Because, I mean, probably same at Kokorocon, to be honest. Trying to get them off, man. Ah, did Mel take most of your photos? A Diddy Boogill. Blue Ogle, my partner is red. Aww. I went to look up, right? I'm not actually going to do this now, as much as I'm probably going to be bullied by my two friends. Honourable probably being one of them, because she loves me. I was going to do Amy Rose for Kokorocon. Yes, Sonic. And as much as I was looking at everything, I found the worst hedgehog costume. Like, it wasn't a Sonic cosplay. It wasn't a cosplay at all, really. It was like one of those really nasty, cheap Halloween costumes. And it put me in so many fits of giggles, I could not keep looking. I just could not keep looking, and I was like, I can't do this. I can't, because now every time I look at myself, I'm gonna think of that really nasty, cheap cosplay or costume, and my model keeps going a bit on a squiff, by the way, just because I'm looking at my chat. I haven't got it on the same screen as my game, and I've got my VTube Studio to calibrate so it's straight when I'm looking at my screen that's got the game on it. Because 99% of the time, I'll be doing games that obviously I'm looking at my one screen for. Let's go sell these. Well, first, actually, let's go and put my alligator in my aquarium. Because right now, I've got this bastard in here, but I really want to put my alligator in there. There you go. He's having a good time. He's vibing. He's just gonna hang out there now. Okay, carrying on. yes to Amy Rose. I had a feeling you'd want me to do Amy Rose. I would, but I'm also not sure if I'm going to be wearing a dress. Catch alligator. Alligator. I'm going to have all of those. Let me just refill my bait. Who did you cosplay last year? So, last year I had 3 cosplays with me, and I only ended up doing one of them. I only did Themis last year, and the reason I only did Themis was because I was way too drunk. I was horribly drunk last year and I got hungover so bad and I was just like, I can't do this. Have I got the eyes that I usually use in here? I can't remember what eyes I used before. I'm pretty sure they were different. I need to put up my it's either that one, which I've obviously got on at the moment. Should I put some glasses on so I'm like the same as... So you can draw and stuff in here, by the way. Like you can play guitar, you can draw, you can punch your friends, that kind of thing. You can label things. It's it's a game after my own heart, honestly. What bait have I got? Did it? It has updated everything. Cool, cool, cool. Don't know the character. So Themis, he basically doesn't wear a lot. I don't know if you know Themis or if you were just responding to Honourable. So Themis wears like a silvery blue white robe. It's not very thick, to be honest. I was freezing my ass off until things heated up last year. That's fine, you can call Themis a twink. And sorry, my auto mod there's just like, oh my god, you're bullying, you're calling him a twink. Yes, Themis is a twink. Chat paused you to scroll. Don't go away, OBS. Just shum. Stut. I like twinks. Boy, wait until you meet me. Right, let's carry on fishing. We'll go for some leeches, because we haven't done some leeches yet. And you know what, we're going to sit while we fish, because we can. I'll put up a picture in the Kokorokon Discord later, because I'm bringing him back anyway. I just need to redo his wig, because I'm pretty sure the poor thing has been obliterated in our last move. I'm a bit confused why that was censored. I've just got like an auto anti-bully thing on at the moment. I've really not looked into like editing it and stuff. I've also put on another bot recently, like literally today before I started streaming. Seribot, just to help against like bot raids and stuff like that, so I don't get caught up in that kind of thing. Ooh, star. You'll notice I'm not having to click, and that's because I've upgraded my rod power a lot. I think that was my first shiny fish. So yeah, that's sort of going back to my topics of conversation. That's where I've not been well. My chronic fatigue's played up, like chronically, surprisingly. Arvin from Pokemon, Q-Song. I might have seen your Arvin. Oh Jesus, this is gonna hurt. Oh, you might know me from last year if you did the Blahage panel. Because I was Themis at the Blahage panel. I was the one at the laptop. My model having a great freak out while I'm like having a coffee. But yeah, so that's where I've been, what I've been up to. Oh goodness, don't want that. Thank God I've got this as a display capture, a game capture, not a display. Just always doxed myself. While I'm wiping my nose, of course. I never said I was professional. I think I've said it in every single stream, but I'm not a professional. I never will be. So, rolling into the topic of the new PC, actually, because I did promise I'd talk about that, and I know that some of the people watching this will be interested in specs and things. This may not mean something to some people, this might mean a lot to other people. So the biggest thing that people are probably going to be curious about is my graphics card. I'll compare it to what I know I had in my last one. So my previous computer that you saw me streaming on lagged out of its ass when I tried to do VTubing playing Indigo Park. It was an Acer Nitro 50-600, it's like 650 basically. So it wasn't it wasn't a bad first PC. That was my first PC. And if you knew me in the time that I had it, you'd know that I had a lot of difficulties with it. I took it back to the shop like 3 times. It was the 3rd iteration of that PC I was on. Because there was just something about it which kept crashing it out. I think the processor was just not powerful enough for the games I was playing, honestly. All I know about the processor, and that was it was an Intel 5, by the way. I don't know anything else. So the graphics card in the Acer, in the Nitro, was... please don't kill me. It was a 1050. It was a GeForce 1050. So, you know, it wasn't good. I'm very surprised it played Final Fantasy after the graphics update. My current graphics card, which is night and day compared to what that was, is a GeForce RTX 4070 Super. So I was going to wait for the 50 series to come out. Because, like, as I say, I've only just bought this computer, really. Oh, jeez, okay. Yeah, I've only just bought this computer. I've had it for maybe not quite a month. And I chatted with the bloke that was building it for me, because there's a local shop to me that built it. And he was basically saying about how the 50 series seems great, okay? But with computers, it very much depends on what you want it for. You know, like, a gaming computer is not going to need the same stats as an office computer, for instance. You know, it's going to need different areas of specialty, shall we say. Also, please, in chat, feel free to correct me if I'm talking out my arse about any of this, because this is just what I've learned, but I'm self-taught, so some of this may be incorrect. So the 50 series did great in lab testing. But the problem is that was lab testing, that was in, like, fully controlled environments. That doesn't necessarily translate into real world. It can, don't get me wrong, it really can. But much like saying, oh, this drill would be great for masonry. Some drills are built for woodwork, some drills are built for masonry. You know, sometimes the stats that it gives you. I'm so glad that people are sort of half in the same boat as me. But yeah, so some stats you won't need, some things you don't need when it comes to computers, depending on what you want the computer for. Which, oh, hello. I was waiting for a pun to appear. Deadweight is probably the guy that will fact check me on a lot of this, which, as I say, completely fine. Please do, because I don't want to spread misinformation about what people might be learning off this with. So yeah. Oh, I've not got bait on. So, yeah, so the 50 series, I was going to get a 50-70 originally. And pretty much we spoke about it, and I was like, I'm willing to wait like another month until you guys get stock, because I was really happy with the shop and I was really happy with the people building it. They were lovely, they taught me a lot. And he was saying about how the thing is, getting a 40-70 Super will serve you probably just as well, if not better, for what I want it for personally. So obviously mine's going to be for like gaming and streaming occasionally, and I'll get onto my streaming stuff in a bit, because there's a bit to yap about when it comes to my streaming. So that's that with the graphics card. I decided if I get a 5080 at any point, if I find a really good deal on one, great. I've got room for expansion. That's one of the big things, was we spoke about upgradability. Is that a word? Upgradability? It is now. Almost lost that fish then. Another big thing that we spoke about quite in depth actually was my motherboard. Was it the motherboard? Yes, the motherboard. Sorry, I couldn't remember if it was the motherboard or the CPU then. So I believe my motherboard is an 850 Asus TUF, I want to say. Without the paper in front of me, I couldn't tell you fully. Bless their hearts, they actually upgraded me for free with that one, because I think I originally had the 750 or something like that. I basically had the release before my motherboard, and it caused a lot of issues with their RGB software, so they just upgraded me for free. It was quite funny, because they basically went, hey, this is causing problems, so fuck it, have an upgrade. Which, you know, fair enough, I'll do that any day. So I don't really know a lot about motherboards, admittedly, but I do know that that will be obviously overall better for me in the long run. I'm staring at the inside of my computer, because I've got one with a glass case, like a glass side to it, so I'm staring at the inside thinking, what have I covered and what haven't I? My RAM. So again, they upgraded me for free on my RAM. They were really lovely about it, because I think originally my RAM was... So I was going to go for 32 gig anyway. 32 gig RAM, 216 sticks. Because it just makes sense in terms of longevity with how big games are these days, how much RAM they need, and like all that kind of thing. Even just to run them these days. 32 gig is kind of your baseline if you want your computer to... It kind of last, I guess, now. But I was on DDR4, I believe. And while we were talking about my build and stuff before we obviously knew the issues with the motherboard, the bloke basically turned around and said, just to keep you in line with everything, I've upgraded your RAM. And I was like, oh, what have you done with it? You know, like, talk to me here, I'm learning. He's like, I've just brought you up to sort of like the DDR5. It'll just be quicker for you. It'll run better. I want to say I've got the not Corsair Vengeance, because it's got Fury written on it. Again, I can't really tell you brands because I haven't got my paper up here that says what's on them. CPU. Again, I got a different one. I can't tell you what one I actually got, because originally I was going to go for a Ryzen, one of the latest Ryzens, but it essentially locked me into the best of that generation. You know, there was no longevity there was no sort of longevity in terms of upgrading it. So we chatted about it and put me on a different different CPU, but I couldn't tell you which one I've got at the moment. I just cannot remember. Other than that, I've got a water cooler. It is liquid cooled, which I wasn't impressed with, actually. I'm not a fan of liquid cooled because I'm always so afraid I'm going to do something and it's going to just ruin my PC. But all of this is internal, so it does it all of its own accord, which is quite nice. There's only, like, it hasn't got the big glowing pipes and stuff through it or anything like that. It's just got what looks like two little braided pipes. And it's all liquid cooled, so it stays at a really nice temperature. And I mean, as you can tell, I mean, Webfishing isn't exactly heavy duty gaming, but it's running nicer. Just trying to think what else. Pretty sure the liquid cooling. Yeah, he said something about it. So I was chatting to him because he saw the face I pulled when he said about the liquid cooled. Oh, that was a bird. That just frightened the life out of me. Essentially, it can still knacker your system, obviously. Hello? I'm not used to stuff like that happening around here. So essentially, liquid cooling is safe for your PC, overall. There is obviously going to be dangers to it. I actually have no idea. I've not really ever paid attention to the settings in Webfishing, because I use it as a cozy game. I'm sure it means something, but I'm hanging out. I'm having a good time. So yeah, the guy said there's always a risk with liquid cooling, because obviously if the wrong thing gets into the wrong part, you're going to knacker it. It's the same with dust, it's the same with anything, you know. Like, even without liquid cooling, if a component in your PC broke and got into your fans or whatever, you could still break your fans. You know, there's always risks. Overall, it's safer than it used to be, because it's not just essentially cooling liquid anymore. It's not gel, I want to say, but it's like a thicker liquid, which means it doesn't particularly just get into things, like it doesn't get into parts. Not. So basically, if one of my pipes goes and it just decides to go pop one day, it's not going to just immediately fuck my PC up. If I leave them sat in it, it will, don't get me wrong, but hey, we're there. But no, so I've got a PC that glows now. It's got so many fans in it, it's funny. I can upgrade my RAM. I believe I've got 2 open slots. I've got room to put a bigger graphics card in there eventually if I need to, which I shouldn't need to for the next few years, which is nice. But no, so that's the new PC. I think I've covered everything. Motherboard, at least everything that's sort of interesting when it comes to PCs. Basically all of my components are RGB now, Rugba. Which I never had before. My Acer Nitro was just... it just hung out. It had a good time. It was a completely solid black case with a bit of red glow in it. You couldn't... But all of this is now RGB. I've got a little stand for it downstairs so I can put it on and easily pull it out on my desk to get the wires at the back, which is nice. So that is my new PC. I have not named it yet. My Nitro was called Oni because it was an absolute fucking demon to get a hold of and get it to work properly. So we've not got a name. If anybody has any suggestions, you know, I'm always open. No, so if there's any questions, obviously, about the PC, let me know. I'm happy to talk about it. I mean, I can see into it, which is quite nice. I can see when it needs dusting. I've been too frightened to take the sort of polyethylene sticky protective thing over it. I've been too afraid to take the alpha side of it. So that's still on there. A little funny thing about it was the day I got it, I immediately crashed my BIOS. Because I'm good at this. There's a button on the front, and I thought it was for the RGB stuff. I thought it was for the RGB stuff because it looks like a little sun. It's a little circle with some lines coming out of it. And I clicked it by accident because I was actually going to play with it, and then I was trying to put my headphone dongle in because I've got the HyperX Cloud 3s, and it's a USB-C dongle. You do have a converter with it, but the USB-C receiver is right next to this little sun button, and I caught it with my finger while I was putting the dongle in, and it reset my PC and crashed my BIOS, and I panicked. What's the objective of this game? So this is just a cozy game. It's like a collector's game as well, which is quite nice. You fish, you chill. I'll show you the collector stuff in a moment. Give me a sec. So, as a cozy game, you can just kind of hang out and have fun, which is what I do. Let me just get that out of the way. You do have some emotes and stuff, so you can dress up your character, which is really nice. Bucket hat. You know, I've got my antlers on, of course. Of course. I've got my cryptid title, of course. You can add friends and stuff, so you can multiplayer this game. I'm just in a private offline lobby right now. I need to open these at some point. You can catch treasure chests which give you items. You can buy items. Where is the... So you can obviously collect bait. So this, you can have your own little tiny island, which is cool. I can't remember where I can see what I've already... Yeah, here we are. So you can collect fish. If I click on that one, you can see that I've caught... I would motion my... I haven't got hand toggles. You can see how many you've caught, your record size, your tier. So you've got freshwater, saltwater, and you've got mist fish, of course, which obviously includes things like plastic bags, litter. I haven't caught saltwater yet. I haven't been ocean fishing. You can also see if you've caught shiny fish, basically, so important fish, big fish, that kind of thing. So yeah, it's just a little cozy game. Dress up your character, have fun. It's essentially almost like a meat game, much like Stardew Valley, Minecraft, that kind of thing. You can just hang out with your mates, fish, chat, that kind of thing. It does have a public chat thingy down here. It's mostly blocked off by my chat box at the moment. But no, it's just a chill game. I'm not going to go as far to say there's no real objective to it, because it does satisfy my little collector's heart. But no, it's just a nice little chill game to yap to. Wasn't there a thing where a hacker was getting into offline games? Yeah, I remember that, actually. I mean, thankfully, knock on, I've never, had that happen to me, and I hope it never does. I'm like to think I know what I'm doing around cybersecurity, but, don't we all until it happens to us. Sorry, my model's going to freak out. I'm still sipping my coffee. I've got it in, one of those travel mugs, and it stays hot for so long. It's so good. What have I covered? Coricon, Orabine, PC. I think really all that's left for me to chat about is sort of my future and what I'm actually looking at with VTubing now. So, this is something I've wanted to talk about, I guess, because although I don't have a lot of followers, and the followers I do have are my friends, which I am so grateful for, honestly, it actually means a lot more to me than just having big numbers. A lot of people seem to think that people go into VTubing and streaming just to try and get those big numbers, and I'm really not about that. I'm really, as I say, having people that actually come into my chat want to talk to me, it means more to me than just having the big numbers. So for the fact that people say, well, isn't it your friends that's just coming into your chat, or you don't have followers outside of people you've spoken to, that doesn't matter to me. The fact that my friends actually want to support me and want to be around me while I'm doing stuff like this means so much more to me than being big, popular, and famous. It didn't have to be on cam. Yeah, I get that. Like, I mean, right now I'm in my pajamas and dressing out. I did originally start with face cam streaming, while I was like saving up to get my model and stuff done. So for me, I didn't mind being on camera. I still don't really mind being on camera. But I much prefer my little VTuber, my silly little cryptid man, There's... how can I put this? I'm going to get cancelled on the internet for so many of my opinions someday. But there's such a lot of pressure to start getting the big numbers, to start streaming like every day, every week, whatever. And not everyone is in for that. I'm just happy being a silly little guy on the internet pretending to be some weird cryptid dude that has horns, I stream because it's the easier way for me to share games with people that games that I love. I want to be able to show people games I love, and I want to be able to share how and why I love those games. Even, as I say, little cozy games like this that don't necessarily need an objective. I just like hanging out. There are days where I don't want to do much. I just want to sit at my computer and be a silly little guy and have fun. I actually do not want to be famous. That's a lot of work. The idea of being famous for VTubing or having it become a job and an obligation, the whole idea of that is exhausting to me. Like, I would... Oh, hello, I'm throwing me. Made myself a PNG. Yeah, exactly. Like, VTubing has made streaming accessible for so many people, and I cannot be happier. He actually spoke to me. Go away. Don't speak to me. Who do you think you are? Yeah, so VTubing has, like, made streaming accessible for so many more people, and that makes me so happy, actually, because it means that more people feel like they can share games they love. They can do things they love. Because there are people that, like, what's his name? Woo Labs or something like that. He does science experiments with a PNG tuber. So all he has to have is a hand cam or whatever that he's doing at the time. At the end of the day, the only person who can put pressure on you is yourself. Exactly, yes, later. The only person who can put pressure on you is yourself. It's the same when it comes to people's opinions. The only person who can let people's opinions affect you is you. And I'll admit, sometimes I really need to remember that lesson. But it's a lesson worth remembering. So as I say, I don't want this to become a job for me. I don't want my fun little hobby to become an obligation. I'm open to the idea of eventually, maybe, if I can make this a sustainable income. Because things do change. But as somebody who needs very specific circumstances in order to be able to work, I surprise, surprise, it's another disabled VTuber, you know, like, I'm not ashamed to admit that. But I can work, it just means I'd need very specific circumstances that a lot of employers are just not willing to do. And streaming and VTubing means that on the days that I feel really, really shit, on the days that I look like shit, because my brother and my housemate can tell you that there are days that I come downstairs and they take one look at me and go, "You're poorly, aren't you?" And even if I feel fine, then you can guarantee I will not be fine later that day. It gives me something I can do. It gives me something I can look forward to. And I don't want my hobby of being a silly little guy on the internet writing stories about his lore and how the stars fall from the sky in meteors and get tangled up in his horns and the webs. I don't want that to become an obligation. I don't want to have to stream on a schedule strictly so I can live. Because to me that takes the fun out of it, obviously being a hobby, because the moment it becomes an obligation for you in order to earn money, in order to, like, in order for you to be able to sustain yourself as a person, it's not a hobby. You can have a job that is a hobby as well, don't get me wrong, but for me, having my hobby become a job is just the worst thing. Disabled people can be streamers and have fun. Yeah, they can. Like, it's given disabled people, especially, a surprising amount of access to the outside world. Because, much like during the pandemic and work from home, and how many disabled people manage to get jobs that they've actually been able to sustain because people have realised that just because we're disabled doesn't mean we're lazy. You know, we do want to work, we do have motivation, and we do want to do things. You know, we're people too. And just because we need a little bit extra sometimes doesn't mean that we don't want to be people. Doesn't mean we're lazy. It doesn't mean that we don't want to enjoy our lives. We do still want to connect with people. We do still want to have fun and, you know, show off what we enjoy. That's what it's about, isn't it? But no, to me, the idea of this becoming a job, I'm open to the idea very much down the line. Because, especially at the moment with my chronic fatigue playing up, the chronic fatigue is chronic and very much not iconic. I would not be able to stick to a schedule. Because I cannot tell you what my life is going to be like day to day. I can have 3-4 good days. Very rarely, don't get me wrong, but I could. And then I could be off my feet for a week, unable to leave my bed. It's just how it goes, you know. And I struggle enough with the idea of accepting that that's my life at 26 than having to compete with the idea that I can't keep working and that kind of thing, you know. And I believe a lot of people seem to think that just because that's the reason I don't want it to become a job or anything, or that's the reason I cancel streams, it's not an excuse. Much like with when people have like mental health outbursts, things like that, it can be the reason for stuff happening, but it's not an excuse. You still have to take responsibility for yourself. And that's kind of my motto that I live by, is it might be the reason, but it's not an excuse. I don't want to go too deep into stuff like that because I try to very much keep my opinions of, I guess, nigh on controversial stuff out of my streams, because I'm just not a person who has the energy to deal with people wanting to argue the point. Because everybody has different opinions and people are entitled to them. But that's my thoughts on the situation anyway, is I don't really want streaming to become a job for me. I want to enjoy being my silly little guy on the internet. Long story short. I want to be a weird little cryptid dude that gets art, that has fun, that has a chance to meet people through this. It's given me a social life again, which is something I have not had since I moved away from my childhood home. And I couldn't be more grateful for that. Like, I've got some V siblings. I believe my papa actually is planning on making a Discord for his children. And I can't wait. I'm so excited for that, because it's just like, yes, I get to meet more of my siblings. But I hope that's understandable to people. It's not a question that people have asked me, admittedly. I'm not going to sit there and pretend, oh, people have been asking me this, people have been asking me that. I'm not. No, I'm alright. But it is... Excuse me, my nose is running because my office is really, really cold. It is a question that I've had for myself. You know, I do ask myself these questions. Do I want this to become a job? If the opportunity arose, even if, obviously, I don't want it to be a job now, the opportunity arose that it was actually a sustainable career for me and my future, and including my retirement. That is what people forget, is that it is not a retirement job. You know, what would I want to do? And I do believe that's probably a question that people don't ask themselves enough, is what is it you want to do? What makes you happy? You know what? Go off in the chat. Like, have a think about it now. What makes you happy? You know, is it your family? Is it cosplay? Is it games? Is it streaming? Is it, I don't know, role play? Is it writing stories? Is it maths? Is it science? What makes you happy? Whether it's as a streamer or a person. Well, my model freaks out while I sip a coffee. Games and sharing the joy with other people. Yeah, I can fully agree with that. That's why I stream. Like, one of the games I want to buy and play on stream is Final Fantasy 15, which is not the best Final Fantasy game by far. It really isn't. However, it is the first game I completed, and it is a game that holds near and dear to my heart. It really does. There's a very weird sound right now. I don't know what it is. I got a king salmon. And if you're somebody who can't find or can't think of something that makes you happy, there will be something out there. Most of my games are Pokemon, maybe. I think I have, yeah. If you've posted in the Kokorokon Discord, then definitely. I remember the hype when I was getting this model done. Like, I was so excited. I still think my papa killed it, honestly. Like, my expressions, I don't know if they might not work because Webfishing also uses the 1, 2, 3. But no, we're all we're all people on this silly little spinning rock in space that's we're just trying to get by, man. It's the best way to put it. We're all just trying to live our life and get by. So do what makes you happy, as long as it's not hurting other people, because if it's hurting other people, you might need to rethink about why it makes you happy. I love how your model looks. Thank you. Oh, I did manage to turn one of my toggles off. There it is. With my model, I didn't realise that my horns were a toggle at first. I thought he forgot them. And I messaged, and the file was actually missing, it turns out, but I did message him, just like, hey, so my horns are missing. And he was like, oh, they should be there. And then he gave me the file, he like resent me the files. So, yeah, the model ended up being there. In fact, my expressions might work then. Yeah. I've got your berries. My, as I like to call it, the degenerates. And then I got a crying one. We're in 2 servers. Are we? Unless you're in the same one that I'm in with Honourable and Deadweight. I can't remember who was in that server. Yeah, VGen. Ah, VGen. Yeah. Sorry, I know my model keeps flying across the screen every time I try to take a sip of me coffee. Yeah, I'm in the VGen server because it's been really good for making sure that I can like comm people. Because going through VGen for me sometimes it's really overwhelming. So I'll occasionally make a post saying, you know, I'm looking for this specifically. Whether it's art or cipher, whether it's reference sheets, whatever. And then I'll get replies of artists to say, you know, yeah, this is my VGen, come look at my work. And it just makes thinning down artists that are, one, open to doing these commissions, and also willing to do them and that kind of thing, you know. Whew, my chest is starting to hurt again. Mind you, I have been yapping for like an hour and 15 minutes. You guys must be sick of hearing my voice. But no, like, I'll admit, I'm not a person that has great self-confidence. I mean, Ossian, bless his heart, can tell you so many times about the times I've been a bleeding heart over whether I feel like people actually are embarrassed about knowing me or things like that. Which is why I say it's a big thing for me when like people come into my chats or interact with me on things like, say, Twitter, X, Blue Sky. You know, the fact that people do want to interact with me and not just in DMs is a big thing for me. It always is. I worry people don't like. Same. Like, one of my things, and again, this is going to sound very bleeding heart, and I have worked with therapists and stuff before on things like this, before people start doing the, oh my god, you should go to therapy. I have, many times. One of my things is that I believe people talk to me in private chats and things like that, but won't interact with me in public because they don't want other people to know that I'm associated with them. Yes, that is not other people's problem to deal with. You know, I understand that. I understand it is my insecurity and my thing to work on. We're all human, we're all going to have insecurities. The important part is I don't make it other people's responsibility to cater to my emotions. You know. Does that make sense? Like, as I say, bless his heart, Ossian in particular has had to deal with me doing the, I'm worried people don't like me because people I know aren't interacting with me. But it is very much my responsibility to ensure that if I am having those doubts and I am having those troubles, not only do I have that open line of communication with people and, as I say, not make it their problem, but make them aware that I might be a bit more anxious or I might be a bit more upset about things, but that I'm also remembering I am actually responsible for my own emotions, and it is not their responsibility to deal with me if I have an outburst or I start accusing them of things or whatever, you know, like, not saying I would do that, because as I say, I'm very aware that it's my responsibility, but basically, if I'm not in therapy, my emotions are my responsibility. And even then, a therapist is not responsible for my emotions, they're responsible for helping me learn how to cope with them. We'll say hi to anyone at cons. Oh, I'm very much learning. As I say, I'm aware that I have this as an insecurity. And I can talk about things like my insecurities and that all day, because I have many problems that aren't worth mentioning on stream. The way that I like to describe it is, I have fucked up and I have been fucked over. Like, as a human, I have fucked up in my life. What is important is I say that I live by the, this may be the reason, but it's not an excuse. You know, the fact that I'm insecure may be the reason I've acted a certain way, but it is not the excuse. There is no excuse for making my emotions somebody else's responsibility. I may need help with them occasionally, But then that's where the open line of communication with my friends come in, where I say, you know, I need help. And sometimes that's the hardest thing to say to people. It's just, I need help. But I fully encourage people to get help. If they need it, reach out, because mental health is... We've come a long way from stigmatizing it, making it taboo. We've come a long way from all that, but we still have a very, very long way to go as a society, I believe. Exactly. You can tell somebody you're making me feel this way. Like, don't ever let people dictate your emotions, and don't ever try to convince yourself that you're crazy because of your emotions. However, do understand that it is not somebody else's responsibility to regulate your emotions for you. This is something I have had to learn the very, very hard way. I'm hoping I'm not putting anybody off with like this sort of chat, by the way, because talking about this deeper sort of stuff like emotions and mental health is important to me as somebody who does deal with that kind of thing. Because I believe it's not spoken about enough. There's a reason that people are frightened to get help, and it's because sometimes things aren't spoken about enough. You know, they believe they'll be judged. And, I don't know, maybe I'm just too chill that I don't judge people for anything. I mean, I've helped people that have had troubles from all walks of life, no matter what has happened to them. No matter what they've done. And, as I say, maybe I'm just too relaxed. I don't know. No, I hope I'm not putting people off, because, as I say, the sort of talk's important to me when I'm just sort of yapping. Especially when I'm getting tired, like I am at the moment. Because it's not spoken about enough, it really isn't. Yeah. So I used to be the kind of person who blew up on people. Because I didn't know how to regulate myself very well. And it may surprise people, but I say it may surprise people very sarcastically, we're awaiting assessments for stuff like autism and stuff. So I used to blow up on people like crazy, honestly. You couldn't have a conversation with me without something pissing me off. Now, I mean, I've had a full fucking on-the-nose argument with someone before. And I did not raise my voice once. This was semi-recently. But I made sure I was breathing, I made sure that, you know, I was just keeping it in my head that there's going to be no point in me losing my temper. Oh, I've never caught one of these before. A fellow autistic person. Yep, most likely. So we're pretty sure autism runs in my family. It's about the only thing that does run in my family, other than my brother, who probably has ADHD. Not the one I live with, but we're pretty sure he's also got it. I don't think I've got ADHD, but I think I'm ADD, I think the GP said. I don't necessarily know a lot of what I'm talking about when it comes to these things. And we're pretty sure I've got autism because, oh my goodness, there's not a lot that puts me off in this world, like, food-wise, for instance. That's usually a big one with autistic people. I'm actually very explorative with food. I love trying new food. But if there is a food that I genuinely do not like, which is very, very rare, I cannot eat it. Like, it will genuinely make me throw up if I try to eat, if I don't like it. Like, if I have a texture problem with it, I cannot swallow it. And it's not like, oh my god, no, I can't swallow it, what are you trying to make me do? It's like my throat physically closes, almost like I'm having an allergic reaction. And I'm not allergic to the food. It is genuinely that my throat like stops me swallowing, or if I do manage to somehow swallow it, I'll gag. This is being investigated very late into my life. Like I say, I'm 26 now. Mostly because as I grew up, there was much more important things going on. I won't go into those. There was much more important things going on. And it's only just sort of becoming prevalent that this is actually a difficulty for me. Because, as I say, I grew up pretty sure my family is autistic to a sense. I'm pretty sure it runs in the family. So, what may have been telltale signs was pretty normal in my family, you know. Stuff like hyperfixations and stuff like that, like my dad, for instance. He's always had a thing about cars. He collected model cars for ages. He likes to fix cars. He likes building them, that kind of thing. He's always had this big hyperfixation on cars. That's always sort of been his, I guess, safe thing, is cars. So, like, he's always had that. So the idea of having something that you're hyperfixated on has never been strange to my family. So, as I say, these little things that are like little telltale signs have been very missed. Found out when you're 12. You're very lucky to have found out when you're 12, to be fair, especially as somebody who's OFAB, because even doctors have admitted they go off of the male assessment, the assigned male at birth assessment, and those born female and those born male do not have the same kind of symptoms. Like, I was a daydreamer, which is why we're pretty sure I'm not ADHD, because I'm not hyperactive. My brother, who has ADHD, obviously is hyperactive. Has been his entire life. Couldn't get him to stop. His son's very much the same. But I was the daydreamer. I couldn't pay attention to something unless it fascinated me. I couldn't concentrate, things like that, unless it was something that itched the brain the right way, as I like to say. Like this game, giving me this when I was younger, I couldn't do it, because it wasn't intriguing enough to me. But now it itches the brain the right way, because I'm older and I just want to chill. I'm like, okay, yeah, I can sit here and play this for 6 hours straight. It's the same as Final Fantasy. I've been playing that very nearly daily since July 2020, I want to say. Is it July 2020 or was it July 2019? It was one of them. My mum was like that with my brother. Bless her heart, she actually got accused of being one of the mothers that wanted something to be wrong with her child. And if you know, I mean, if anybody in the chat actually knows my mother, you'll know that is the biggest BS out there. That poor woman probably wanted nothing but a normal child. She never got one. She never got one. I mean, I'm her youngest, I'm 26, and she never got a normal child out of any of them. I've got, so there's 4 of us all together. The one that I say is my brother that I live with. I'm not actually related to him. We sort of adopted him into the family unofficially. But as in for like my actual siblings, there's 4 of us. I've got a sister and 2 brothers. And no, she didn't get a normal one out of any of us. My sister is probably the closest she's got to a normal child. And bless her heart, even she's has sort of the, I guess, traits. She gets like hyperfixations and stuff like that, but she is the most normal of us. I say normal, neurotypical. It depends how politically correct you want to be. Shiny hunt for hours. See, I can't shiny hunt. The idea of just sitting there catching the same thing over and over just kills me. But I can do this for hours. I can do this until the cows come home. Like, I absolutely adore this game. You know, running my little bum off. So, I'm gonna restock things here and go from there. Is there anything else you guys want me to kind of yap about or talk about, whatever? Because I am more than happy to keep yapping. But if people obviously have things they want to just get on with in life, I am happy to... Cozy. I am happy to just sort of like leave things here and go from there. We'll open these first, of course, just to... White shorts. Olive pants. Green flannel. Open. Oh, a blue beanie. I don't know what beanies would look like considering I've got antlers. Distraught. If I remember rightly, I got my eyes from... Ah, it's the sad eyes. So these are the ones I'm using at the moment. I had ones that were basically just like scribble lines. I cannot remember where I got them from. I thought they were in the shop, but they're not. I need to change them. Will that work? Yeah, we'll put the olive shirt on for now. Or should we put the olive pants on or the white shorts? Nah, we're gonna hang free. But no, so that is sort of where I've been, what I've been up to. I hope I haven't bored the living shit out of everybody too much. Oh, I can get my nose. I'll focus on that next time. I want to have a look at my cosmetics. I hope people have obviously enjoyed little chat, found it a bit more insightful. Oh, the eyes aren't on here, I wonder. You know, enjoyed. Let me just go onto my chat screen. There we go. So yeah, I hope people have really, like, enjoyed just having a bit of a yap sesh. And a bit of a, this is where we've been, this is what I've been doing. I will need to sort, obviously, my chat box and stuff out, because you can see some of the messages are probably being cut off here. I think I have it a bit too big on my stream elements, that's what it's called. Enjoyed the stream, thank you. I'm hoping now I've got my PC to get back to streaming properly. Like I say, I want to stream Final Fantasy 15, because that is a game I do enjoy. It's not a groundbreaking game, don't get me wrong. It's probably the game that's got me closest to crying before. So, considering I've mellowed out in the past just under 10 years of having not played it, you can see my fucking nystagmus playing up now. Now I'm facing my camera. But no, that's probably the game that's got me closest to crying, so you may see me cry on stream. Which I know Deadweight, if he's still in the chat, will absolutely love, because I have never cried at a video game before. And he calls me a heartless cow for it. He's not wrong. If you've got any suggestions for games, I know I do plan on playing Persona. I'm not sure why the mouth's hanging open at the moment. I need to sort my parameters back out, clearly. The mouth should not be hanging open, but here we go. Yeah, so Persona 5 I think I'm going to be playing at some point. I do have to buy these games, so the fact that I have to buy them means it's usually on delay. Ooh, I never realised I had spiky teeth. I have spiky teeth. Oh my god, I have spiky teeth. Me being a weirdo aside. So yeah, Persona 5 I think I'm going to be trying to play at some point. Final Fantasy 15. I've got some games to do collabs with if people ever want to do collabs. Like I've got Lethal Company. I can buy things like Phasmophobia, Content Warning. That's a game I've really wanted to play, to be fair, because that will be so much fun. I am a chicken. If you've seen some of my horror streams, or if you haven't caught them and you want to see the VODs on my YouTube, I am a chicken. I cry, like, scream, and I'm awful. I panic so bad. That's part of the fun, isn't it? It's part of the fun. But no, thank you very much for coming. I hope this stream has been okay for people. I've never done a Yap stream before. They're just doing a cozy game, so hopefully it was okay. And I will sort my parameters out so my mouth doesn't keep hanging open every 5 seconds. That might be a camera issue. Maybe. But I will speak to you all soon. I am going to get an ending screen commissioned at some point. I don't have one right now. I will get one. Trying to remember who did my assets. Oh, Seaton, was it you that did my assets? Like my starting screen and stuff. Yeah, my overlays. Yeah, okay, I might be telling you that I need another one soon for my ending screen. Just be like, excuse me. Poke you, just like, if I throw money at you, can you do me another one? We'll chat about that later. But no, thank you very much for coming. I hope everybody has enjoyed. And remember, stay hydrated, get something to eat if it's not too late for you wherever you are. Make sure to rest, sleep properly. And I will see you all soon. Love you, bye!